Oggi vogliamo visitare alcuni dei luoghi percorsi da San Paolo durante il tempo finale della sua vita qui a Roma.
We are now in a place called Acqua Salviae, perhaps because it was known as the place of springs in the ancient world.
And tradition points to this place as the site where St. Paul was beheaded after his death sentence. Here, the words of the second epistle to Timothy are highlighted. The time of my departure has come. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. From now on, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day.
Today, this place is called the Tre Fontane because the tradition states that the cut head of St. Paul bounced 3 times on the ground,
Giving birth to 3 fountains in those 3 points. Here we find a monastery of the Trappist monks, the church of Scala Coeli, and the church of the martyrdom of St. Paul.
This is the church of the martyrdom of St. Paul. In one side of the nave, 3 fountains are arranged in edicles are preserved. The 3 fountains, closed in 1950, have 3 tabernacles on top of them.
This column marks the spot which is held to be the place where St. Paul was beheaded.
Ora possiamo vedere un piccolo settore della necropoli, che si trovava ai lati della Via Ostiense, uno dei principali accessi alla città di Roma.
The Romans always placed the tombs outside the city and on the sides of the roads. And it is precisely in this necropolis that the body of St. Paul was brought after his beheading.
È stato scavato solo un piccolo settore della necropoli, ma si stima che le tombe si stendono sull'intera area in cui sorge la basilica.
We anyway know that the body of St. Paul was transferred. Let us go there.
This is the Basilica of St. Paul's outside the walls. It is one of the 4 major basilicas that depends directly from the Pope, and it is where the body of St. Paul is kept.
Si chiama fuori le mura perché si trova fuori città e sopra la tomba dell'Apostolo San Paolo, dato che i romani non seppellivano i loro morti all'interno della città.
Here is the tomb of the apostle. You can see one side of the original marble sarcophagus, and inside it there are the remains of St. Paul.
At the foot of the sarcophagus, under the glass pavement, we see a curved wall. This corresponds to the remains of the primitive basilica that today would fit inside the presbytery with the apse located above the tomb of St. Paul.
Questa piccola chiesa fu costruita da Costantino, l'imperatore che pose fine alla persecuzione dei cristiani con l'editto di Milano nel 313 d.C.
A few decades later, Emperor Theodosius, who put an end to paganism with the Edict of Thessalonica in 380 AD, have decided to build a new, larger basilica, competing with the one Constantine had built over the tomb of St. Peter in the Vatican.
That basilica was destroyed by a fire in 1823, but it was rebuilt, preserving the characteristics of the old one. and allowing us to observe the grandiosity it had.
Quando fu costruita la Basilica Teodosiana, il corpo di San Paolo fu collocato all'interno di questo sarcofago, progettato in modo che i pellegrini potessero vederlo da tutti i 4 lati.
Pope Gregory the Great, in 6th century, had the main altar placed on top of the Apostles' tomb, similar to what he did in St. Peter's Basilica. It is worth visiting the Basilica of St. Paul's outside the walls, which is located only 6 kilometers away from the University of Santa Croce.
Si può vedere qui la fede della Chiesa nell'edificare e venerare l'apostolo delle gente fin dai primi tempi.